Welcome to Beauty Explains FFs. Disclaimer: this is a complete work of fan fiction. One was talking with Mia, totally engrossed in her gossips, while smiling and laughing on something. And that's when she felt an intense gaze on her back. She felt goosebumps erupted all over her body, and she forced herself to look behind. Mia also felt the change of your expressions and also looked towards the direction where you were looking. There was standing Jungkook at far end of the living room. White eyes meet with him, making her almost shudder on place. Eyes meet and her smile dropped as she immediately moved her gaze back towards Mia. Taking a deep breath, she hastily picks her belongings placed on couch and table and stuffed them in her bag before getting up. I'm sorry, Mia, I think it's better if I leave, you told her motionless while she just gave you a pained smile. I can understand, Ryan, and it's more than enough for me that you still choose to be friends with me, even after everything. Ryan tried to smile in her direction, but in vain. Ryan is 23 years old, graduated, and works as a writer. She was sweet, bubblish, and cheerful kind of girl once, but everything changed after something happened, which was more likely when someone broke her heart badly. The same person whom she gives her everything, but now there's no same girl like before. She have changed herself to an icy cold and emotionless personality. After what happened, and no matter how much she tried, just never able to forget everything and forgive him. Mia is Ryan's best friend, and Jungkook is Mia's brother. He was 27 years old. He was Ryan's senior in university. Also the same person who broke her heart badly that she won't even able to pick her broken heart pieces. When wiped the trails of tears that was rolling down from her eyes, this was the basic reason she was avoiding to visit Mia's house for months now. And the same thing happened whom she was most afraid of. He was there staring her as if he didn't have life once. When I swear and she had no control on her tears. She again wiped her eyes and took a cab to go back home. Skip. When 10 page of album as some more tears rolled on her eyes, she was watching her old pictures with Jungkook. There was countless of her pictures with him at different occasions, and the fact he was Mia's brother to make her more comfortable with him. She was smiling in each and every picture that hurts her more because the same person snatched her smile. Then the pictures of that day came, and when her drops, her become uneven. As she placed a hand on her heart, she was suddenly feeling immense pain there and surely was panicking. She massaged the area to suppress the pain, but nothing was helping, and all those memories start coming back in her mind. Flashback 1. I love you so much, princess, he yells, making her giggles. Stop it, Jungkook, you're making a scene now. She tried to drag him with her. Flashback 2. When you'll move in with me, he pouts coolly and she pinched his cheeks in awe. I'll soon, my love, she smiles back. Flashback 3. It's been more than a month since Wen moves with Jungkook. They have been dating for 4 months now, and Wen was falling head over heels for him every day. But she have been noticing his behavior quite changed after she moved in with him. He have many times tried to manipulate her to do, but Wen was not ready, but today he have finally convinced her for it. I was Jungkook's time to return back home from work when he heard the door opened and closed, and sooner she saw him coming towards her, who was he smirks to see her as he pulled her towards him, and a gasp of surprise left her, making her cheeks turn pink. You're looking so, baby. I never thought I will look this good on you, he whispered in your ear, as you felt his warm breath grease your skin. He gently as she nervously, and then he neck, and she immediately felt her like it. She turned around and her hands around his neck. Yeah, he mumbles, but she'll like to even more on. He'll drawl huskily and a shiver ran down one spine. And with those words, he picked her up, making her almost squeal from surprise, and took her towards unprogenial unit. They held each other's gaze for a few seconds. One was pushing, and then he started. That she literally become. I've been thinking about you all day. He in between there. You're mine. You hear me? You're all mine. Among yours, she repeated. One snuggled even more comfortably in Jungkook's arms. Her head rested on his. She listened on his calm and regular beat breathing. She could hear the heart right next to her ear. You okay? He asked while caressing her eyes gently. Yeah, she replied in tiny, as if she just awakened from sleep. Just she heard him sigh in satisfaction as she couldn't see his face, but she knew that he was smiling. Maybe I should, like this, more often. He teased, making her stomach twist in some unknown emotions as her cheeks turned into crimson color. I don't mind if that's what you should do. Her face closer to his as she leaned in a sweet. You're so beautiful, he murmured quietly in his morning husky-like voice, and she felt flustered all of a sudden on his compliment. I only lowered her gaze, too shy to meet his gaze, but he took her chin back in between his fingers and forced her to look at him. I wish I could hold you in my arms like this forever, he sighed, and gave a sweet on her forehead. When he heard the squealing of her tummy as she away, realizing she didn't eat anything from yesterday afternoon. She's been working till evening, and then her dear boyfriend came, and the rest is history. What happened? He was upon confusion. I'm hungry. She unknowingly pouts, and he chuckles on her act. Do you want some pancakes? She asked him, her honey-like orbs glowing with happiness. Of course, I'd love to eat them. He beamed cheerfully, making her more happy. Wait then, just stay here. I'll be back in no time, he announced, almost running towards. Cookie, you want them with chocolate syrup or maple syrup? One asked loudly, so he ate her. But even after a few minutes, when she didn't get any reply, she called his name again, but still no response. Jungkook, baby, silence. Could you hear me? Jungkook appeared, but his expression was nowhere near pleasant as before. Is something wrong? She merely asked while frowning her eyebrows. His gaze was through her shoulder tensed. The atmosphere in the room had suddenly become calm, making her almost in her own place. I don't know. I think you're the one to tell me, he barks coldly, and she felt shivers run down her spine. His voice seemed so distant, and she felt an instant pang in her heart. He pulled his arm from behind his back, and one saw he was holding her phone. As she narrowed her eyes to see what he was actually referring to, he passed her phone, and she took a look at the screen. Hey Cupcake, everything's alright with your car? Now, Vivian, you can thank me later by buying me a drink. It was text from one of one's colleagues who helped her yesterday. When she was running back after visiting press company for her upcoming novel, but out of nowhere her car stopped working, and fortunately Alex offered help. One struggled to make a decision, but she was getting late, so she accepted his offer to drop her to her place. We'll look up towards Jungkook, not knowing what's the matter and why he was holding her phone. So, is it to what you usually do, or this is the first time trying it? He growled, and when felt a cold shivers ran down her spine. Was she hearing right? And was this really her boyfriend who said the same thing she heard? She blinks just in case it was a dream, so she will confirm it's really her boyfriend present here and not a bad dream. What do you mean by that? Her bubble, while speaking, voice shakes, and tears will start gathering around her eyes. He chuckles mockingly, and one felt as if someone threw a ice bucket on her head in freezing cold weather. The same thing you're pretending to not understand. Did you go through my phone? She found herself speaking, a hint of disbelief in her face. It was outrageous, and as much as she loved him, she felt seriously. Answer me, he growled. Dean and one closed her eyes and tried to hold herself. It's nothing like that, Jungkook, she tried to explain. But she had already sensed the barriers growing between them higher. My car broke down last evening, so Alex, my colleague, gave me a ride back home. Did he touch you? Interrupted her, and she just stared at him, astonished, her eyes almost popping out of her sockets. Are you being serious right now, Jungkook? Of course he didn't, and why would he? I went to publisher and then out of nowhere my car broke, but thankfully Alex was there as well for work purpose, and so that's why he offered me help, and having no option he drove me home. Oh really? Then why didn't you call me? Stop lying on my face, Ryan. As he was becoming more angrier, and Ryan had no idea what to do to get out of this confusing situation. And she was clearly on verge of tears to burst out any second, while some silent tears was already straining her cheeks continuously. Because this is clearly a misunderstanding. Don't you believe me now, baby? Please listen to me once calmly. Suddenly he slammed his on the kitchen table and then flinched, taking a step backwards. I shall ask you again, did he try to? With you before me when it's become he was delay and would bring her more that she can imagine. He was the only person she had trusted to her life and least expected something like this ever come from him. I already told you, Jungkook. He didn't, and you don't believe me. I just gave you more evidence you needed. Her voice was breaking down as she was already about to burst out in loud sobs due to frustration. Please stop it, Jungkook. It's hurting me. Sobs. Why are you being like this? Why can't you trust me? Because I don't trust him. I don't trust Annie around you one bit. I was looking as if he could start shouting farts with his eyes very moment when he didn't know what to say. We have been with each other for months now. Don't you know me enough to trust me? How can we be together if you don't trust each other? She cried out and took a few steps towards him as she took his hands in hers. He was hurting her, but she was still ready to make him understand and make up, but instead he immediately pulled his hands back and looked away from her as if he couldn't stand her. One heart dropped as he literally breaks a part of her at this point. There was no sign of him, Shino. He seems different. Who said we were together? Oh, I have feelings for you, he asked with a sardonic smile. One felt as if someone had One just stared him in bewilderment with her teary wet lashes, praying. What she just heard is a bad nightmare, or he really didn't said what she heard. Are you being serious right now? Is it a test or a prank? She hiccups as a soap left her mouth. And doubt? I'm not being serious, and it's not any prank. There was no hint of even a single emotion on his face, and that broke went to core. Suddenly her tightened, making her having difficulty in breathing, and she realized she can't breathe in the same air as him. Clearly you don't know what you want. Don't. And clearly you're not satisfied with only one. I think I shall leave, Jungkook. I shall empty your house till tomorrow morning. A shadow of hesitation passed through his face, but he changed his expressions almost immediately. I think so too. Let's take it as nothing more. Hope to never see you again. The tiny bit of her heart which was still beating for him broke into pieces, and more tears rolled down from her eyes, which she clearly don't care about. Was everything a drama? Were you pretending all along? Were you using me? She sobs more, with hiccups, as she won't able to hold back the mental trauma and heartbreak anymore. Think whatever you, because I can't live or waste any time on a leave till I came back home. He almost growled. She was not familiar with his this tone. You so pathetic, Jungkook, and you surely have some major trust issues. One mumbled slowly in a monotone, her voice cold and foreign to her own ears, and he left house without turning back or say anything. He's sorry or he didn't mean to. One burst into more tears, remembering the whole memory, and then she take out those pictures and took from nightstand and all those pictures in half before who want second part. Thanks for watching everyone.